You don't need enemies when your own mouth is sharpening the knife against you. Right now, somewhere in silence, someone is planning your downfall with words you gave them for free. A sentence from months ago. A careless joke you thought was harmless. A secret whispered in trust. A confession made in weakness. Each one is evidence. Each one is leverage. Each one is a blade that no assassin needed to forge. Because you forged it yourself. We think our words vanish into the air. We imagine conversations dissolve, forgotten like smoke. We cling to the fantasy that people are too busy with their own lives to hold on to ours. This is the most dangerous delusion of modern life. History is littered with corpses of those betrayed by their own voice. Kings have lost crowns because of one overheard remark. Generals have lost wars because of a single careless boast. Friends have turned into enemies because of a word spoken in misplaced trust. The ancients knew what we have forgotten. Your tongue is the executioner's axe, and your silence is your only shield. Niccolo Machiavelli spent his life dissecting power. His conclusion was not flattering to humanity, but it was true. The one who masters their words, masters their destiny. The one who cannot, becomes prey to their own echo. And so, listen closely. What follows are not abstract ideas. They are the 10 psychological traps that transform your own mouth into your betrayer. These snares are everywhere, hidden in anger, in joy, in weakness, in triumph. Most walk straight into them. The wise see them for what they are. Ask yourself, how many times has your mouth already sabotaged you? And more importantly, how much longer will you allow it? Repeat this now if you dare. I speak only to win. Anger is the purest truth serum. Chucked, moment fury grips you. Your brain abandons its fortress walls. The gates swing open, and your mouth becomes the enemy's recording device. Every hidden resentment, every grievance carefully concealed, every dark thought you swore you'd bury forever, it all pours out like venom unleashed. In that moment, your opponent isn't your enemy. They are your interrogator. Your rage is their interrogation chamber, and you are the one eagerly confessing. Don't mistake this for righteous fire. Rage is weakness wearing the mask of strength. Once someone knows your trigger, they own you. They can summon your explosion like a magician conjuring fire at will. Your fury is not catharsis, it is programming. And the one who provokes you, they now have the remote. Worse still, anger leaves records. Words screamed in seconds linger for decades. The insult spat in a fit of rage becomes permanent proof of your character. Your temporary outburst becomes eternal evidence. Machiavelli warned, he who wishes to be obeyed must first know how to command. And command begins with commanding the only battlefield you always carry, yourself. The powerful feel anger, yes, but they do not perform it. They process it privately and respond with precision. They never give their enemies free intelligence. Say, it allowed with me. My anger serves me. Success intoxicates worse than any drug. The moment you win, your ego begins to starve for applause. You want recognition, credit, validation. You want the world to acknowledge your brilliance. And so, you talk. But every word you speak is a manual for your enemies. Every explanation of your strategy is a free seminar for your competition. Every proud retelling of your victory is a roadmap for your replacement. Your triumph is their textbook. Your celebration is their study session. Your need to be admired is their blueprint for dismantling you. Understand this. The crowd isn't cheering. They're dissecting. Your rivals aren't impressed. They're reverse engineering. You think you're inspiring them. In reality, you're arming them. Machiavelli cautioned. A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when keeping it would be against his interest. And revealing your victories is faith kept with the wrong audience. Because your audience is also your opposition. True winners let mystery speak for them. Their silence is louder than another man's boasting. Their restraint builds legends, while others talk themselves into irrelevance. Let this be your creed. Victory speaks silently. Alcohol does not invent new truths. It merely dismantles the guards that once protected them. Every sip erodes discipline. Every glass lowers defenses. Every bottle transforms you into an open book for anyone sober enough to listen. Do you think spies gather intelligence through torture? Foolishness. Most secrets are extracted in bars, not interrogation rooms. With a drink in your hand and laughter in your throat, you'll reveal more than you ever would under duress. Affairs, ambitions, fears, insecurities, all laid bare. And while you forget in the morning, they remember forever. The consequences are brutal. A drunken admission about your relationship becomes ammunition in a courtroom. A careless revelation about business becomes fuel for a competitor. The loose tongue of intoxication breeds the sober pain of ruin. Machiavelli advised, "A prince, so long as he keeps his subjects united and loyal, ought not to mind the reproach of cruelty. Then be cruel to your own temptations. When the drink tempts you to speak, deny it. Be merciless to your impulses before your impulses murder your future. Whisper this to yourself: clarity is my power. Pressure does not create character, it reveals it, and most people discover that theirs was weaker than they believed. Deadlines approach, expectations mount, stress chokes you, and suddenly the polished mask you wear begins to slip. Out comes the truth you never meant to share. Desperation forces confessions. I'm failing. I can't handle this. I'm not qualified. These aren't cries for help. They are free intelligence reports for anyone watching. And who usually receives them? Not your enemies. Worse, your family, your friends, your colleagues, the ones closest to you, who now possess the knowledge of where you break, the ones who may weaponize that weakness when pressure suits them. Understand this. Your breaking point is not authenticity, it is opportunity for someone else. What you see as relief, others see as leverage. Machiavelli stated coldly, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. And when you collapse under pressure, you are neither. You are pitied, or worse, despised. If you master your response, pressure becomes your crucible. It burns the weak away and leaves you a diamond. If you fail, pressure becomes your executioner. Say it, now. Pressure builds diamonds. Not every predator approaches with teeth bared. Some arrive in tears. The sympathy trap is one of the oldest forms of manipulation. They tell you their struggle. They reveal a carefully chosen weakness. They let you play the savior. And while your heart opens, your mouth opens wider. You share to comfort. You reveal to connect. You confide to bond. And everything you share is cataloged, stored, and weaponized. Understand this. Real vulnerability is messy, chaotic, unpredictable. Performed vulnerability, however, is crafted like theater. Smooth, polished, perfectly delivered to lower your defenses. The sob story is the sharpest knife in the manipulator's arsenal. Machiavelli revealed the bitter truth. Men are so simple, and so much creatures of necessity, that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. Your necessity? The need to feel kind. Their necessity? The need to own your secrets. Strength does not mean cruelty, but it does mean discernment. Learn to help without revealing. Support without exposure. Offer compassion without making yourself prey. Say it aloud. I help without revealing. Every group is a marketplace of secrets. Every workplace, every friendship circle, every community. And gossip? Gossip is the currency. But most people are broke. They give more than they take. They share more than they collect. They expose themselves for the fleeting approval of belonging. Do not be fooled. Gossip is not harmless chatter. It is commerce. It is surveillance. And in every room, there are brokers. They smile, nod, laugh with you. But their true trade is intelligence. And you are the product. Every time you break a confidence, you do not merely harm another, you advertise yourself as unreliable. Every whispered rumor is not just about the subject. It is about you. You reveal your own nature when you spread theirs. Machiavelli said, "The way men live is so far removed from the way they ought to live, that he who abandons what is for what ought to be learns his ruin rather than his preservation." You think gossip ought to be harmless bonding. The reality? It is war disguised as conversation. Information warfare where every secret you share is traded, sold, and recycled against you. The masters of this economy? They listen. They nod. They contribute nothing. And in the silence, they grow wealthy in secrets, while others bankrupt themselves with their tongues. Mark this truth. Secrets flow to me. When power challenges you, it almost never arrives cloaked in fairness. Machiavelli said it best. Politics have no relation to morals. The outrage you feel is irrelevant. Power plays by different rules, and those who survive adapt. The wise endure criticism without protest, then annihilate doubt with results. What feels humiliating in the moment becomes later the stepping stone that elevates them above the rest. Remember this truth. Results prove everything. Betrayal cuts deeper than any blade, and with betrayal comes the temptation of revenge. You possess their secrets, their fears, their failures. You could ruin them with a whisper. But vengeance through revelation destroys you, not them. For every relationship is an exchange of intelligence. You know their vulnerabilities, but they know yours. If you betray one, you reveal yourself as a traitor of all. Yes, your enemy may suffer in the short term, but your reputation will never recover. Allies, employers, and future partners will all watch how you handle endings. They will ask one question. Can you be trusted when the bond breaks? If the answer is no, you are finished before the next alliance even begins. The true master holds silence, not because he is weak, but because he is patient. He preserves the secrets, keeping them as leverage for a time yet to come. Revenge whispered through silence carries more weight than revenge shouted. Through betrayal, let your creed be simple. Silence is my revenge. Insecurity always betrays itself. You can smell it before a word is spoken, and yet the insecure cannot stay silent. They must perform. They name drop, over-explain, and interrupt. They pretend at confidence instead of embodying it. But every word spoken to prove worth only advertises inadequacy. Every unnecessary explanation is a confession. What they intend as proof of competence becomes proof of desperation. The irony is cruel. The more you perform strength, the more you reveal weakness. The more you try to seem competent, the more you expose your incompetence. True power has no need for advertisement. True expertise waits patiently to be recognized, because recognition is inevitable. And the danger of overcompensation is not merely embarrassment. It is predictability. Once others see the cracks, they know which buttons to push, which insecurities to trigger, which false pride to exploit. The wise know that silence holds more authority than 10 boastful speeches. Their work, not their mouth, becomes their proof. When pressure overwhelms you and demands pile high, the temptation is to escape through promises. Promises feel like solutions. They soothe the angry. They calm the demanding. They buy you time. But promises are chains. Each one is a debt you cannot escape. Each one compounds until your credibility collapses. You tell yourself that promising is harmless, that words are free. But every unkept commitment proves you are unreliable. Every broken vow stains your name. Promises are the language of desperation. They are castles of air built on foundations of mud. Machiavelli warned that he who builds on the people builds on the mud, And promises are nothing more than hope disguised as certainty, destined to sink beneath reality. The wise do not speak in guarantees. They deliver in silence. They understate, then exceed. They do not write checks with their tongues. They write their reputation with their actions. Now step back and see the design. Every trap has the same architect, not your rivals, not your enemies, not fate. It is you. The mouth has been your greatest betrayer. Anger reveals what you swore to hide. Success makes you boast until your enemies know your strategy. Intoxication makes you confess to anyone who pours the next drink. Stress makes you blurt out your inadequacy. Sympathy makes you reveal weakness to predators who wear the mask of victims. Gossip makes you advertise your unreliability. Authority provokes you into self-sabotage. Revenge drives you to torch your own reputation. Insecurity makes you babble, your weakness. Promises forge chains you cannot break. Every downfall, every ruined alliance, every lost position, trace it back, and you will find words. Not their words, yours. This is not paranoia. It is realism. Life is not friendly chatter. It is information warfare. Every conversation is a negotiation. Every word a weapon. Every silence a shield. You think you are only talking. In truth, you are trading. Every sentence has a cost. Every revelation has a buyer. Victims and victors are separated by one thing: discipline. Victims talk. Victors withhold. Victims confess. Victors observe. Victims perform. Victors build. In the end, the one who controls their mouth controls their fate. The one who does not becomes a puppet, pulled by the strings of their own careless speech. History is not written by those who spoke the loudest. It is written by those who spoke the least, and only when it mattered most. The greatest rulers, the most feared generals, the most cunning manipulators, none of them were talkers. They were listeners. They let their silence terrify, their restraint confuse, their mystery command respect. Machiavelli understood what most will never learn: power whispers.